Hey, Pastor Satan Face. Hey, Pastor Rodney Howard Browne. This is a message for you directly. Remember that time you persecuted the prophets out of your church? You were touching God's bride. You were abusing God's children. Remember how I told you back then that the ministry of helps was not pleasing to God? Pastor Rodney? Pastor Rodney Howard Browne? When you have your armor bearers and ushers running around during church service, you are intentionally causing the children of God to be distracted from the Lord. Pastor Rodney. Those 100 evangelists, right now you should have raised up by this time, after 26 years, you should have raised up, say, half of them, 2/3 of them, 50, 60. And there should be right now, in 15 or 20 or 30 or 40 different countries of the world, right now, 40 or 50 of those 100 evangelists right now winning souls. But instead, self-centered fat bastard doesn't want to raise anyone else up but himself. And then he wants to get behind the pulpit and teach people the love of money and call it for God's kingdom and exploit the people, exploiting God's people so that you can go after souls. Lying to people and leading a whole group of people in a vow of prosperity when you know. I saw there's a video on YouTube where the whole congregation is told that we're going to have a vow of prosperity. And the scripture says, oh, you didn't quote Matthew chapter 5 where Jesus said, if you make a vow, it's of evil. And you didn't quote James chapter 5, where it says, if you make a vow, you will be condemned. How dare you tell these people that you have 57 million souls saved, when all the souls that said that vow could potentially be condemned based on James chapter 5? Adonica should leave you flat up straight out. You know why? She has every right to walk away from this guy. The whole church should disown you completely, Pastor Rodney, just based on this picture. But that's not the only picture, because you got a Satan face in many different contexts. I mean, that's a different day altogether. I mean, come on. I'm not in this alone. The Lord is with me in this, Pastor. It's me and Jesus against you. What happened to the 100 evangelists, Pastor Rodney? And why do you get behind the pulpit and teach about obedience? And why is it that whenever you teach on you reap what you sow and sowing and reaping, it's only in the context of finances? Why don't you have a revelation that you reap what you sow on everything? You're going to reap what you sow on having persecuted the prophets out of your church. You still haven't reaped on that. You're going to have to reap what you sow on those 100 evangelists. You're going to have to reap what you sow on what you did to Eric Gagnon and how you turned him into your own personal servant. And how 25, 30 years ago, he was supposed to launch out and start his own ministry. And where is he now? He's still your own personal servant. You're going to reap what you sow on that, Pastor. You're going to reap what you sow on what you did to Timothy Eusta. And how you turned him into your own personal cash cow. You're going to reap what you sow on what you did to me, on how I was innocent and I was just a prophet. And you taught me to not prophesy, to disobey God and not say what he and then you're going to get a bunch of people up behind the pulpit, up on the altar, and lead them in a prayer. I'll go where you tell me to go. I'll say what you tell me to say. I'll do what you tell me to do. When I did it, I got persecuted out of the church for going where God told me to go, the River Tampa Bay Church, saying what God told me to say and doing what God told me to do. I got persecuted out of your church. So now God has done the irreversible. You know what's irreversible? This right here, Pastor. My words won't go away. My words are eternal. Because when you die and stand before God, you're going to hear those same words. If a real prophet comes to you, let's say you're out somewhere at some other church, prophet comes to you, they're going to be like, I feel like the Lord's telling me, where's my 100 evangelists? You self-centered idol worshiper. You pagan Rodney Howard Browne. I like to call him Rodent Howard Browne. Pagan Rodent Howard Browne instead of Pastor Rodney Pagan Rodent.